Remember, no talking throughout the whole thing. Make sure your phones are shut off. Ready to go?
Yeah. All right.
All right, everybody. Hi. Welcome. We're glad to have everyone here in their homeroom periods for our awesome presentation today. We have Mr. Trey Tipton, who's coming here to talk self-reflection. He's going to talk about his story, tell his story to you, all of you, and we're really looking forward to it. So without further ado, please welcome Mr. Trey Tipton.
I don't know how this works, so I'm trying to figure this out. Am I in a good place right now?
Yeah, you should be.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you're good.
Cool. So we had a little bit of conversation earlier. I'm gonna talk to you guys because you guys are my crew. Is that cool?
Yeah, cool.
All right, cool. So as I told you before, we learned a little bit about my story, right? So with that said, I'm gonna give everybody a little bit of time right now to understand if you get uncomfortable at any given moment, or if this makes you feel a little bit uneasy, please get up and either find a teacher, find your school counselor, or get up and walk out. I'm not gonna feel offended. This can get very deep and get very deep very fast. Now there are some funny points, so I expect you to laugh. Don't be silent on me the whole time. All right, so bear with me, roll with me, and we'll get started. Is that cool?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I'm gonna tell you a little bit about me, okay? So I'm a small town kid. This school to me is amazing. This is too big for me. I'm 30 kids at most. As I told you before, I graduated with about 30, and I graduated with what, 150? What you got?
Like 300.
What?
388.
388?
Yeah.
In your graduation class?
Yeah.
Could never. Could never. But I started in a small school, man, but my lifestyle was always so different. Like, for example, like when I grew up, right, 7th grade, not even 7th grade, 7 years old, I grew up in a tough situation with my father and my mother separating, right? So some kids here go through some things like that where your parents aren't around as much as you would like to, or they're separated, or they're going through something, right? But then on top of that, I had an experience that I never thought I'd have. See, when I was 7 years old, me and my dad had this tough point in time where something very, 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 very tragic happened. Unfortunately, when I was 7 years old, I was the first person to witness that my stepmother died. I could vividly see exactly on how it went. For example, I was downstairs playing Xbox with my stepbrothers, right, Jordan and Brad. And my dad had asked me during breakfast, go upstairs, check up on your stepmom. I said, okay, I'm gonna go up there and make sure that she's cool. As I walk upstairs, I can already tell something's not right. Like I could feel something chilling down my back. So much so that I'm like, whoa, like this is just, I don't feel comfortable. As I walked into the room, I seen her laying there, but something was definitely off. What was off and what was very difficult to understand was the fact that her skin color was two different colors. One side of her body was blue-ish, not completely blue, but bluish, and the other side was hell is white. And I couldn't understand. I was like, something doesn't seem right. I'm 7 years old, and I'm just scared to see what's actually happening. So I run downstairs and I call my dad. I'm like, Dad, something's not right. He runs upstairs and immediately shoots back down the steps and says, Mandy's dead. He's screaming, he's crying, ambulances everywhere. As a 7-year-old kid, I have no idea what's going on. All I know is somebody just died, right? My father's now being taken to jail for whatever reason, I have no idea. And on top of that, my mom is nowhere to be found. So as a 7-year-old kid, I don't know what to do. All I know is to run away, get away, stay away. Fast forward. See, what got even scarier is as I got older, things kept happening, right? Like there's starting to be a lot more death, a lot more negativity that's happening to me, but I'm not saying anything, okay? So from when I was about 7 years old till I was about 9, everything I did involved sports, everything. If I was going through something, I was hooping. And I'll bust you, I promise you. I'm nice with it. If I was doing anything, I was playing football, I was playing baseball, I was doing all the things I could possibly do to get my mind away from my home situation. Because my mom is my superhero. Let me tell you why. See, my mom worked 3 jobs from when I was 7 till I was about, give or take, 14. 3 jobs. My dad, he's my dad, I love him. He's in and out, but he's my dad, he's there every once in a while, right? And he's done his best, everything that he could to make sure that I was happy. But my mom, you're talking about real life Wonder Woman now. Like she worked 3 jobs, right? Although I didn't get to see her much because she worked so much, I still knew she was doing everything that she could to take care of me. Think about that. Think about your parents in the situation that they're currently in. If they're still in your life, they're doing everything they can for you. Not for their job, not for their career, not for the things that they love. They're doing everything they can for you. And I understood that at a very young age. I had no choice. See, because my mom, although we struggled, she would never let us know that we struggled. But it was no question if I struggled. For example, my girlfriend back there knows. I spent 3 months back to back with no gas, or no lights, or nowhere to sleep. Think about it like this. I was taking showers at school so I didn't have to go home. I didn't want to be embarrassed coming back into school, and on top of that, I was being bullied because I was black. Mind you, I'm a kid that came from Homewood, that moved out to the complete rural area where there was about 7 farms before we even got to my high school. And I was one of 3 black kids. So on top of that, right, I'm already around a bunch of people who don't look like me. And then on top of that, I got the world I'm going against at home. So what I'm saying this to you for, be careful what you say to who you say it to. Think about that. Be careful, because you don't know what they're going through at home. Because when that was happening to me, that was during my younger ages, and it continued on to my high school ages. There's times, bro, when I was sleeping in the nurse's office just so I could get some rest. That was pain, right? But you would have never noticed that I kept a smile on my face, because I'm telling you, I guarded my heart. I didn't want you to see me in pain. Was that a good thing? No. And you'll later understand why. See, as I got to middle school, things got a little bit more difficult, okay? Because I was starting to get interested in different things. I see my mom struggling, but I told myself I did not want to ever see her struggle again. Okay, I never wanted to see her struggle again. So I got myself into some situations I should have never been in. For example, when I was in middle school, I'll say this again. When I was in middle school, say it one more time. When I was in middle school, it was the first time I ever been shot at in my life. First time. Was I doing the right things? No. Did I put myself in that position? Yes. A couple friends and I got into an altercation with a couple people that we shouldn't have been in an altercation with. I was hanging around kids I had no business hanging out with. I'm in 7th grade hanging out with 11th and 12th graders. 9th and 10th. That doesn't even sound right to some of you, right? I'm sitting at my friend's house. I'm not going to give any names, but I'm sitting at my friend's house, and as I'm sitting there on the couch, there's now bullets flying past my head. My friend tells me, and I laughed at this part, my friend tells me, he said, if you do not get down, you're going to die. And I just looked at him and then got down. That experience changed my life. I told myself I no longer want to be that kid. I have to make a change. I got to be different, because if I'm not different, I'm not going to finish my life. This is it. I'm done. My mom moved me away from all that. She said, you know what? I'm tired of you getting in trouble. I don't want you to get in trouble anymore. We're moving from Pittsburgh. We're moving out to Apollo. Apollo is where my life would change forever. See, Apollo is a small rural area where if you're from Apollo, you really don't leave Apollo. Like I said before, I graduated with 30 kids, right? But that 30 kids, their parents also graduated from Apollo. So with that, it's very closed-minded in terms of how people treat you and how people talk to you. Mind you, again, I'm dealing with all this at home, right? Now going to a school who does not understand me. Be careful what you say, because you don't know what somebody's going through. See, at this point in time, bro, I had a mindset that was like no other. You couldn't tell me anything. You couldn't say anything to me. And if you had said something to me, I'd have rebutted and I'd have said something negative, right? So I had to make a change. I had to make a difference, right? I wanted to be an athlete. I wanted to take care of my mom. So my 9th grade year, I made a promise to my mom. I said, I'm going to get you a house. I'm going to get you a car. I'm going to get you a boat. Then on top of that, I'm going to get you a ranch, right? I was over there hyping it up, telling my mom I'm going to work at everything I got to get you what you want, right? So I made a decision. My freshman year of high school, right? I played basketball. I did track. I did football. Did everything I could possibly do, right? Had a very successful high school career in terms of what you see in front of you. During that time, my mom just got diagnosed with a heart problem. During that time, the only person that's around for my mom, the only person that the doctor is talking to is a 14 to 15-year-old kid who he told straightforward that your mom's either going to survive this or she's not. I said, hold on, sir. What you mean? I just told my mom we're getting her a house, a car, a ranch, a boat. What do you mean my mom's in trouble? That doesn't make sense. He said your mom will either live or she won't. I had to make a decision. What are you going to do, Trey Tipton? Are you going to grow up? Are you going to be a man? Are you scared? Yes, I'm scared. I'm terrified. I'm terrified. Every day was a fight. Every day was a battle. I'm terrified. And I promise you, I did not want to be alive for it. Let's get deeper. See, going into my 10th grade year, I find out that my father now has diabetes. The doctor told him straight up, how you eating right now is not it. You'll be dead in the next 10 years. Do you think my dad changed? No. Fast forward, 11th grade year, I lose somebody that is very close to me in a car crash, and I lose my aunt also in the same car crash in the same week. And my principal doesn't come and confide into me. My principal doesn't come and say, are you okay? My principal tells me, go down this hallway, go take care of all the kids that are struggling right now because of what happened to my close friend. Sir, I haven't even had enough time to actually breathe. I hadn't had enough time just to actually feel what I'm going through. I changed my face. I smiled. I continued to work through it. Was that good for me? No. Fast forward. The end of my junior year, I ended up dating a young lady. This young lady, unfortunately, also had a lot of trauma. This young lady also had a lot of things she had to go through. So with that said, she took things into her own hands in the ways that I was feared and scared to do. This was the first time I ever dealt with somebody who considered actually committing suicide. See, because in this moment was a moment where I almost lost my scholarship to the University of Pittsburgh. See, in this moment, and this is how old I am, so I'm about to date myself, Paul Chris was the coach, okay? So Paul Chris, if you don't know, was a coach before Pat Narduzzi over 8 years ago. With that said, he said, come down, we have to talk about your scholarship because I had received a couple different things for playing basketball, right? So we had to have a conversation and get it cleared up. It later had gotten cleared up, but needed to have a conversation to get it cleared up. I get a call on my phone in the first quarter of the game. Trey, you need to get to the hospital now. Something's not right. What do you mean? Get to the hospital now. I said, what hospital? They said, I'm not going to tell you the hospital just out of respect. They said, get to this hospital now. Danielle's in the hospital. I said, there's no way. Come to find out, she had overdosed on 43 different pills. On top of that, she had tried to drink herself to death while driving 80 miles per hour down the highway. When I found this out, she was life-flighted. Needless to say, I didn't understand on how to cope. I didn't understand on what I was going through. So again, I smiled when I was really in pain. Fast forward, my senior year of high school, okay, I come to a realization that I need to do whatever I can to take care of my mom because, mind you, I made that promise. I have to get her the house. I have to get her the car. I have to get her the ranch. I have to get her the boat. All this is feeding into me as also people are also feeding into me because you just got a scholarship to the University of Pittsburgh. People who called me racial slurs came up to me and shook my hand. Think about that. People who disrespected me to my face, spat at me, shook my hand when I got my scholarship offered. So I put all this pressure on my shoulders. I did everything I could to take it off my shoulders, but I couldn't because I kept the pressure on my shoulders. So much so that, again, mind you, I'm that kid in high school that is going home with no water. That kid in high school that is taking showers at school just so I'm not embarrassed to go back to school the next morning. Y'all don't understand me. Bro, I slept in a car the night before my playoff game. I had to figure me out. If I didn't, there would be no success. There would be nothing. Because here's the thing. The statistics say that I don't succeed. The statistics say that I'm not going to be good enough. The statistics say that I'm not capable of doing everything I already did. But that's the competition. Fast forward. My freshman year now, for the ladies, please, if you feel uncomfortable at any given moment, please take the necessary steps now to move out the way. Reason being is because the next part of this story, okay, the next part of the story is a very pivotal part of my life. But this next part of the story is also a very wild side of my life. Is everybody in here okay? With that said, unfortunately, my freshman year of college, my eyes are wide. I'm expecting to start, I'm expecting to play, I'm expecting to be the next top dog at Pitt, I'm expecting to be everything in between, right? And I'm getting that same opportunity. Coach is calling me saying that you're doing great, you're gonna play. I play against Iowa, I play against all these big teams, big national fans. To this day, Iowa's the biggest stadium I've ever played in. And I'm saying that over Penn State. So if you're a Penn State fan over there, I'm letting you know right now, I was better. So with that said, shaking your head back there, you must be Penn State back there, huh? That's all right. So with that said, right, I'm enjoying life at this point, right? I finally find time to enjoy my life, so I thought. See, I meet this girl, and this girl to me was my everything at the time, right? I tried to do everything that I could to protect this woman. But then I realized later on in her sleep that I couldn't protect this woman from her mind. See, what you guys don't understand is she was screaming at night because of what happened to her when she would go home. This young lady was being sexually assaulted by her father and her stepmother. See, I found this out not because she told me. I found this out because she was dreaming and screaming in her sleep. I had no choice but to ask her what's going on. Once I found this out, what do you think I wanted to do? I wanted to protect her, make sure that everything was okay, but that wasn't my job. I couldn't do that. How can I protect this? I'm 19 years old. I'm trying to play college football. All the while, take care of her. Fast forward, see, that same year, I hurt my knee. Now, this is where it gets a little bit difficult, because when I hurt my knee, you now took everything away from a kid that when he went through something, he went and played sports. See, he went and did something that he enjoyed. When there was pain, that's what I would go do. I bet you put up 100 shots when you get in trouble, or when you're upset, or in between, right? Same here. See, but when that was taken away from me, my mind started to really turn. So what you guys have not understood, or probably did not pick up, I had been suicidal from when I was 7 years old to honestly until I was about 23. See, I didn't actually attempt my life until freshman year of college. See, at that point in time, I just got injured, right? I was playing, everything was going good until everything wasn't. See, I had gotten injured, and the guy who was now in my position scores a touchdown on the TV screen. I black out. I remember going up the steps and walking over to the knife drawer. I black out. I remember coming to realizing that I'm actually trying to harm myself. I put the knife to my throat and realized that I can't do it. I put the knife down, I put it away. My aunt comes in the house. Somebody was protecting me. Fast forward. See, in my second attempt, it's not just about me. See, that same young lady that was going through all those things, that same young lady was pregnant with my child. Because of what was happening with her father, she ended up having a miscarriage with my child. I'm a freshman, mind you. So while trying to be the kid that I need to be, while trying to be everything that everybody else wants me to be, I'm also struggling because I now no longer have my child, my woman's in the hospital, and there's a lot of things that's going on. I don't want to be alive, I don't want to be around. See, I remember looking into the mirror and realizing that I'm having a tough time staring at the person that's looking in the mirror. I'm having a tough time even feeling that I'm up to being myself. I'm having a tough time just to wake up and be like, I gotta be okay today. Let me go get my mask and put it on. See, at this point, I'm done putting a mask on. See, at this point, I'm done letting my glass run full. I'm ready to quit. I'm ready to give up. I'm ready to be done. I prayed about it. I talked about it. I prayed about it. I'm done. That same young lady saved my life. Because, see, when I was ready to commit what I should never have thought about in the first place, she knocked on the door. When she knocked on the door, she grabbed the scissors out of my hand. Unfortunately, what she would do next is crazy. Because she told me straightforward, she said, if you're going to cut yourself, I'll do it first. I said, wait, no, you're not going to do that. She grabbed the scissors that were sitting right next to her and cut her wrist so deeply that she could have bled out to death. Had not I ran to now my girlfriend, my beautiful girlfriend back there, to her apartment to ask her for help. Crazy how the world works, right? See, in that moment, I went into complete taking care mode. See, I picked this woman up and ran her down to Presbyterian Hospital that's right down the street from the Sutherland Hall, right? I'm running her full speed there in terror, thinking that she's about to die, right? When I pull up there, the police don't even notice the fact that her wrist is cut as deep. When they find out the situation, the first thing that they ask is, what did you do? Whoa. What do you mean? Did you hit her? Did you harm her? I don't get down like that. No, sir, I'm fine. That was my first ever realization that not everybody likes people that look like me. Because that hurt me. That hurt me. Because the girl that I love, right, the girl that I'm taking care of, I'm running her to the hospital to make sure that she's okay. And the first thing that comes to your mind is, what did I do? Okay. Fast forward. See, my third attempt, I'm downtown Pittsburgh. See, this attempt is a little weird because I remember sitting on top of a building and just looking down and saying to myself, I could do this. I can do this. And for a second, I thought about my mom. And I realized I couldn't do this. See, I took a step back and I realized I didn't think I could take that step back. I didn't even think I could get myself from that building, to be honest with you. Fast forward. My fourth and final attempt, this is the attempt that a lot of people know about. You might have seen in the story, right? With that said, that attempt changed my life. Here's why. See, I walked from Sutherland Hall to the Point in downtown Pittsburgh. From there, I noticed a bridge that was right next to Heinz Field. You see how everything's playing into itself? See, when I seen that bridge, I then took it upon myself to find a way to get up on that bridge. And when I found that way to get up upon that bridge, you best believe I was ready to take the leap. So I then took it upon myself to climb on the opposite side of the bridge, right? Now I'm looking into the dark water. And right now it feels like it's gonna happen. See, because in this moment, I'm looking at that dark water thinking about, why do I want to be alive? Why do I want to be here? I didn't have that answer until I slipped. When I slipped, I caught myself. In that moment, I realized something. I didn't want to die. I didn't want to feel this pain. I didn't want to feel all the hate and all the madness I was currently feeling. I was tired of losing to myself. This is not going to happen again. I told myself that. I climbed on the opposite side of the bridge and I looked at the water one more time and I said, you'll never beat me again. See, in that moment, I had a blue shirt. It was a V-neck. I took that shirt off and I threw it in the water. I walked the whole way back to the crib, mind you. It was probably like 20 degrees. I walked the whole way back to the crib in a zip-up with no shirt on because I told myself, that person that was standing on the opposite side of that, today, this shirt dies with that person because I'm never going to be that person again. See, when I dropped that shirt over there, I didn't know what would happen next. Fast forward, we go into my sophomore year, right? I'm finally feeling good again. I'm feeling like I'm back on the top, right? I'm having a good season. You might have heard my name. Things are going great, right? Until we play Miami. November 5th, 2016. What's crazy is, that whole week of practice, right? I tell my coach, there's a play. Y'all can laugh at this part. There's a play, right? And I told coach, I said, if you run this play, somebody is going to get hurt. Now, here's a coaching lie. Every coach will tell you, if you don't like it, we'll throw it out. False. That is not true. If you don't like it, they're still going to run it. So with that said, we just had a senior return back to the team. So I'm thinking in my head, I'm not playing anyway, so this is cool. It doesn't really matter if he runs the play. Until he calls the play, and the senior gets hurt the play before that. So guess who's going in? The freshman. The redshirt freshman. All right, it's my time to shine anyway. It's cool. I grab my quarterback and I look at him and I say, bro, there's 3 people around me. Do not throw this ball. Lo and behold, he throws the ball. So then I make my move. I do everything that I'm supposed to do. My coach to this day even said, you did everything perfect. It was just a bad situation. The guy that I seen from the opposite side of the field, this guy is 6'3", 225 pounds, and he's running a 4.3 40. When I seen that on the NFL Pro Day, it made sense why he put me in the hospital. Because when I came across the middle, I seen him coming, but I had to make a decision. Catch the ball or be life-flighted. I'll take my chances. I caught the ball and was knocked out cold, unconscious. I woke up, I thought my wrist was broken, didn't even realize what was really happening. Because in that moment, anybody here ever had the wind knocked out of you? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you feel yourself gasping for air like, right? It's crazy, ain't it? Like you feel like you're about to pass away type deal, right? Well, imagine having your lung collapse. You can't breathe. I had no oxygen. I didn't even know what was going on. I thought my wrist was broken. As I came to, my doctor said, come on, let's do x-rays. Let's get you checked out. They got me checked out. Everything looked fine. I went back on the field and played. It wasn't until I got to the locker room that my teammate came over to me, and I'll thank this man for the rest of my life. His name's Rara Arujo Lopes. It's long to say. It's very long to say, okay? It almost made my tongue really tired trying to say it, to be honest with you. I'm out of breath over here saying his name. So with that said, right, during that moment, he noticed something wasn't right. He looked at me and said, bro, you good? I said, I'm straight, man. Let's go get this game, right? We're only down at 21 at this point, right? It's not that bad. He's like, nah, bro, you're really not breathing too well. So what do you mean I'm talking to you? I didn't know I was wheezing. Like, I was over there gasping for air. Like, I would speak to you and to be like, and I had no idea. The doctor comes over and the doctor's like, Trey, come see me. I go over there and I talk to him and he's like, you look fine. And then another doctor looked at me and was like, something just does not feel right. If he had not said that, I don't know if I'd have been here right now. See, when they rushed me to the hospital and cut everything off of me, it took the doctor 10 minutes to take an x-ray and 5 minutes to come right back. And he told me straight to my face, he said, you're lucky to be alive right now. I was just playing a football game, doc. What are you talking about? He said, your lungs collapsing, and we got to put you under now or you're going to pass away. You're lucky to be here right now. I signed this paper, they put me to sleep. I wake up, there's pain shooting from this side of my face down to the left side of my toes. So much unbearable pain that they had to put me back to sleep. As soon as I wake up again, the incredible nurse that actually really helped me and really motivated me tells me, if you don't get all that blood out of your lungs, you're going into a coma tomorrow. Sir, I just woke up. It's crazy how the world works because you're talking about the kid who just tried to harm himself, now is being put into a position where now my life is not in my hands. It's in his. So with that, I got to make a decision. Is this going to be the end of me because this is what I wanted before? Is this what I want now? No, it's not what I want now. Make a decision, Trey. Who are you? I made a decision. I said, I told myself at this point and at this moment of time, I will never go back to the person that I was. You guys remember that, right? I told you that when I was on the bridge. I will never go back to that person that I was. Now I'm injured. I'm almost losing my life. But I promised myself that promise. So I told myself from this day forward, every single day, I will compound interest on myself. I will become a better man every single day that I can. Did times get easier? No, they got harder. A lot harder. I got stronger. For example, fast forward. See, after that situation happened, we just beat Clemson. Oh, we partying in the streets. I got half a lung. I got 80% of a lung, and I'm having a good time, right? But it's not over. See, the following year, me and my coach, we get into an altercation. I don't get a chance to come back. See, what you don't know about that year, right? That year was supposed to be my grind year. That year, I was 195 pounds. I was jumping out this building. I was running as fast as I could. I could do everything perfect, right? That was supposed to be my year. I trained for it. My coach is coming back and telling me, you got a really good chance to go to the NFL this year. Oh, no way. There's no way you could tell me that right now because you're telling me I get the opportunity to now get my mom the car, the house, the boat, and the ranch all at once. I can do that. Oh, say less. Right? So I work my butt off. I do everything I can, and I blow out my left knee completely. In that moment when I blew out my knee, right, the doctor told me, and I remember his voice. His name was Dr. Musa. I remember his voice. The first thing he told me, he was like, Trey, I'm sorry, but you may or may not play football. I was crushed. Because I was supposed to be getting my mom the house, the ranch, the car, the boat, everything in between. I was supposed to get that. Why didn't I get that? That doesn't make sense to me. I was crushed. See, again, the kid who was just on the bridge 2 years ago is now put into another situation to really see and test on who are you really? Like who? You say you're going to be this, you say you're going to do this, but who are you really? Because now you're put two situations in front of you and you're forced to fix both. Mind you, I'm working with 80% of a lung, even to this day. Then on top of that, now I just messed up my knee. And I might never play again. I might not ever play again. What do you, huh? What? I lost myself. But then I realized who I really was. I'm a warrior, not a victim. Don't cry for me, smile for me. I told myself that I would get up and keep pushing forward. So when I did that, I created an organization called Love. Why do you think I created it? For athletes who were just like me. For people who stress themselves out just by playing a game. For people who stress themselves out going to work. Like, majority of y'all probably stress yourselves out about what school you're going to, right? Live your life. It's going to take place anyway. Make the smart decision, but be happy. We live in 2020. I'm going to say this again. We live in 2020. I'm not saying 2022 because in my head, this is all bunched up together. So what I'm going to tell you is we're going through 2020, right? We've already had a lot of negativity in our lives, right? A lot, right? Why do you need to be one extra negative thing in your own life? Why not be the one positive thing, not only in your own life, but in your friend's life? Not only in your own life, in your mom and your dad's life, and your sister and your brother's life. Fast forward, let me put this in perspective, okay? See, in this moment, right, I'm forced with a decision. Do I go back to me? The one that was on the ground crying, the one that was on the bridge, the one that was cutting himself, the one that was hurt, the one that could never even get up on his own 2 feet? Or do I step up into the role and say, this is what I'm going to do? If this is what's for me, then it's going to have to be for me. But you're not going to stop me because I'm here now. So I made an organization called Love. That same organization won me, I don't even know how many awards at this point, to be honest with you. I've won more awards for that organization than I have being a football player. It changed me. It turned me into a warrior, not a victim. Don't get it twisted. I appreciate everything that I ever been through. I appreciate everything that you have all ever been through. Because it's not easy going through life. I get that, right? And I understand that. But you were strong enough to handle it, because if you weren't, you wouldn't be here. And I'm proud of you for still standing here. But understand that you're more than just the current situation you're going through. You understand that, right? Let's fast forward a little bit, okay? See, then I moved into my senior year. Me and my coach fall out, I don't play. That hurt. Now my role changes. And now I have to be a man about it. I have to go look my coach in the face every single day, realizing you're not playing me just because we had a bad situation. Not because the guy next to me is better than me, because you and I had a bad situation. I had to stand up and be there and be the person that I needed to be, right? So I was that person. We got a ring for it. We won a coastal championship. Cool. Fast forward. See, then I get into my 5th year and I'm sitting here like, okay, this has to be the year, bro. Like, I went through so much pain. I done had 2 surgeries at the time. This has to be the year, right? Like, something has to work out at this point, right? I played 3 games. I have 3 big games. A man back there, you was at Virginia, right? That was one of my best games. See, 2 games later after Penn State, I tear my ACL again. I'm like, bro, there's no way. There's no way. What do you mean I tore my ACL again? How I tore my ACL was I did this right here. Torn completely. Killed me, right? Now I'm trying to figure out who I want to be. And on top of that, now I have rehab. And then COVID happens. So I miss a whole season. Trying to come back. COVID happens. Trey, do you want a 6th year? I don't know. I don't know if I want to be here today. I don't know if I want to keep playing football. Then it hit me. Who'd you promise yourself to be on that bridge that day? Then it hit me. Then you told me that you were going to get up. Then it hit me. Then you make some promises. I had to wake myself up, right? I had to figure out who I really was. I had to wake that inner warrior up, right? That's what happened. See, fast forward, I came back. I was able to play. That was the first time I went through a whole season without having an injury. That's a blessing, right? But see, times did not get easier. I had to get stronger. Fast forward, see, now we're in the current year. Right now, right? Times got harder. A lot harder. I got a lot stronger. See, my mother passed away 6 months ago. My grandmother, who took care of me and my mother, passed away 6 months before that. I'm an only child. My mom and dad aren't together. So my mom passed away, I took care of the funeral. I took care of the viewing. I took care of every person who walked through that door to see my mother laying there dead, right? You know why? Because times did not get easier, I got stronger. See, I realized at that point in time is I'm blessed that my mom was able to put everything she was able to put into me to be the man that I need to be for you all. Then on top of that, the man that I need to be for my family. Y'all must not hear me. To do everything that I possibly can to make sure the people around me are taken care of. Because times don't get easier just because you ask them to. You have to get stronger in order for the times to become easy. And how do you do that? You go see somebody, you go talk to somebody. To this day, I always see my therapist. I talk to my therapist once a week. I got to. You got to train your mental health. You got to train who you are as a person. And that's what I had to do in order for me to be the person that I needed to be. See, then I realized I had to rely on the tribe and the people that are around me to understand who I am as a man. Because in that moment, I couldn't stand on my own 2 feet. You remember me telling y'all that before this speech? There was a time period when I told you the same situation, I couldn't even stand, and this is recent, I couldn't even stand on my own 2 feet. I would go to sleep and couldn't breathe because the person that was supposed to get a car, a boat, a house, and a ranch for is no longer here. So what am I doing this for, right? I'm doing this for her. I'm doing this for me. I'm doing this for you. I'm doing it for her. I'm doing it for him. I'm doing it for every person that stands around me and says they are committing to me. They want to hear me. They want to be around me. So I stand on my own 2 feet and I smile while doing it. Because the goal is share and give love, peace and positivity. Not to live in your pain. Depression is when you sit back and look at the things that happened to you in your past and you bring them to your present. You can't look back here and say, I'm going to go fix that because that's already happened. You can't look at your past and say, I can go do this. If you got hurt, you got hurt. That's over. Move forward. Look forward. Find your peace. Find your happiness. Find your strength. Find your guidance. I realized positivity was the best thing that ever happened to me in my life, right? So much so, this is what I talk about. This is where the story changes. This is where my life gets better because positivity is infectious. If you're watching this right now, watch this. Smile to the person next to you right now. You'll either laugh, right, or smile harder, correct? You know why? Because positivity is infectious. Share it. Give it. Oh, y'all still don't believe me? Okay. I'm going to smile at her because she's had a straight face the whole time. Right there, I'm looking at you. Don't look away. Right here. There it is. I wanted to see the smile. This is how important it is to smile. Look at one of your teachers right now and smile. See what happens. You can't help it. It's goofy, right? It's goofy. But positivity is that infectious. You don't know this, but you could be the only positive thing in somebody's life. Whoa, that's a lot of responsibility. Whoa. That's a lot of responsibility. You could be the only positive thing in somebody's life. You know how? Just by smiling back. Just by asking, yo, how are you doing? Even if it's the kid that you make fun of every single day. Are you all right? Is everything okay? Because mind you, I was once in your position when I didn't have anybody to have my back. See, I didn't have anybody who can, Trey, you okay? Nah, I'm the person who's asking who's okay. But see, right now, you all have that opportunity. You're in one of the biggest schools I've ever been in my life. This is the University of Baldwin. I don't know what high school they said this was, but this is the university. So with that said, you have 1,000 of opportunities out there right now to change somebody's life by just asking, are you okay? Or did you smile today? Or just smile at them and hope they smile back. See, y'all ain't smiling right now, so I don't understand, but I'm going to try again. You smile at them so they smile back. That's important. So in order for you to know how important it is, I told you all in here to get to know each other's names, right? I want you to look around for a second. If you're in a classroom right now, look around for a second. These are the people you're growing with. Right now, this is what's happening right now. You're growing with these people right now, right? Whether you like it or not. I can see it on some of your faces. You don't like it. It's all right, but it's your, the cards you're dealt with, right? So with that said, bro, you need to be focused on the fact that you have to have each other's back. So when these tough times were happening to me, I had no one to have my back. So I'm going to do something that I typically do with bigger crowds, but I'm going to do it with y'all because I hope that it's true. When I ask you who got my back, I hope that you say, I got your back. Because then that means something to me. I can add you a part of my tribe. So who got my back?
I got your back.
See how enthusiastic he was? That's my dog right there. Y'all understand? We walked 20 steps down this hallway and had the longest conversation of my life. I promise you right now, that's my dog right there. So I need to try this again. I said, who got my back?
I got your back.
I don't feel that. See, this is important. Because although I was once you, right? I was that kid that had nobody. Make me feel like I got somebody. I said, who got my back?
I got your back.
See, I know you're louder than that because I walk down your hallways. They are very loud. So what I'm asking you to do, use your outside voice. When I ask you, who got my back, you better scream, I got your back. Because I got your back, all right? So let's get this done. Who got my back?
I got your back.
Try this one more time. Who got my back?
I got your back.
Cool. Who got my back?
I got your back.
All right, now let's put this in perspective. That man back there, his name's Christian Hurt, right? He brought something to me. It's this thing called Wake Up. This is the last thing we're going to do before we get into your questions. This part is very important. It's called the wake up point for me. I haven't told you about this yet, Christian, but I stole it from you. So with that said, everybody close your eyes. If you're on the screen, you're a teacher, in between, close your eyes. With that said, there's a person within you right now, okay, that is telling you that you can't do something. That you can't go to Division I school, or you can't go to the school of your dreams, or you can't be the engineer you want to be. That's false. And today it's even more so false, okay? Then there's another person inside of you that does believe in you. That's the inner warrior within inside you. I need you to see that person and visualize that person. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, with that said, right, keep your eyes closed. Let's wake up that inner warrior. So you need to tell the inner warrior that it's time for me to be the best parts of me. It's time for me to be the best me. So with that said, on 3, we're going to scream, wake up. 1, 2, 3.
Wake up!
Ah, louder. See, you're over here trying to be cool for the guy next to you or the girl next to you. It's not time to be cool because this is between you and you. Because at the end of the day, when something goes wrong, there ain't nobody else there but you and you. So if that's the case, it's time to fight back because you're strong enough to do it. On 3, say wake up. 1, 2, 3.
Wake up!
Ooh, I love how that feels. 1, 2, 3.
Wake up!
Turn me up. I need you to get a little bit louder. I want you to feel it this time. Look at that person, that inner warrior, and say, you know what? I'm changing my life right now. I'm going to be different. On 3. 1, 2, 3.
Wake up!
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 Thank you for having me. I'm Trey Tipton. Nice to meet you all. Have a good one.
Thank you very much, Trey, for that amazing presentation. Next, in our final component of the presentation, we're going to have a question and answer session. So Trey's going to come to the front of the room, and we have a panel of students who are going to ask questions submitted by all of you.
All right, I'm back. Sorry, I had to get my daps up. How you doing? Questions.
A lot of mental health awareness is about knowing the signs of people who are struggling and reaching out, but very little touches on what to do when you reach out to someone who's struggling. What would you suggest is a good start?
Good starting point when you're struggling. First, admitting it to yourself. I would say the best starting point is to admit it to yourself that I'm not okay. Your second starting point is finding somebody that you could talk to. There's nothing wrong with talking to somebody with how you feel. Just make sure it's somebody that you trust and that you could add a part of your tribe. That's the most important part. So then on top of that, also take ownership of your mental health. We can all see our physical health, okay? We can see if we're skinny, we're big, we're fit, or indifferent, but we can't see our mental health. The only way you can improve on your mental health is writing out your goals, writing out the things that you want to accomplish, right? Then on top of that, write out your short-term goals within your own mindset. See your improvement, feel your improvement. And those are the first couple steps that I personally took. Second question.
Why football? Has it been there your whole life?
I mean, you kind of heard the story, but football, football has literally been everything for me, right? I'm a weirdo. I like history. So with that, as you can see, so with that said, the weirdos love history. I wanted to be a gladiator so bad, so much so that I played football. Like, you play in front of 66,000 fans to go hit another man as hard as you can. That's the best job in the world. What are you talking about? I can go do this every day? Oh, for sure. So that's what I did, right? That's what I love to do. Unfortunately, I also didn't know that the guys across from me were also 6'5" and 200 and something pounds. I didn't know that. That wasn't in the job description. They just said that you're good at football. So I love to play it. Next question.
What clicked up the bridge that made you decide to step away from the ledge?
Oof. Y'all definitely watched my story. Okay. What made me stop and then step away was the fact that to this day, I can't even tell you what it is. To be honest with you, to the point where, like, there was something in my head that told me, get off this bridge. Like, in my subconscious mind, there was something that legitimately told me, I could hear the voice, but it wasn't my voice, that told me, get off the bridge. You're not ready yet. And I walked away. I believe it's God, but it could be whatever you believe in, but for me, it was definitely God, because if he didn't tell me to get away from that bridge, I probably wouldn't have got away from the bridge. Next question.
What ultimate advice do you have for us kids going through tough times?
Enjoy life. Life is hard. I'm sweating up here right now. All right, life's not easy. Enjoy it. Embrace it. Have fun with your friends. Smile more. You don't have to be upset. Trust in the people around you. Trust in your teachers. You know what I mean? Like, take time to actually appreciate the things that are around you. You don't have to be upset. Now, will you be upset? Yes. Will there be times where you won't feel good? 100%. But if you can even embrace those moments when things aren't good to prepare yourself for when they're great, you're a beautiful person. And you could feel that. You could feel yourself grow. So does that answer your question? Cool.
How can I, as a friend, help someone when they're upset?
First things first, smile back. Let's get out the way. I'm going to smile at you right now because I wanted to see you smile. Let's see one more person. I'm going to stand here until you smile. All right, there we go. So with that said, that's the first things first. Second thing is, really, really take ownership in being a friend. Like, yo, how are you doing today? How's the house? Everything cool at home? Or you want to go out here and get some ice cream? Paige's Ice Cream, I'm doing a shout out right now. I don't know where you're at, but I know the person's daughter is here today. I'm shouting you out, Paige's Ice Cream. One of the best places my friends ever took me, right? Because when they would take me there, it gave me an opportunity just to not think. Yo, you're with the guys. I'm with my girlfriend. Don't think. Just be with your family, be with your friend, be with your tribe. That was huge for me. That's the best way possible I can give you information to being a friend.
Did you meet others that went through similar struggles? If so, how did connecting with them help you?
Oh, it meant the world to me. That's what I created my organization for. So my organization is called LOVE, okay? Standing for Living Out Victorious Every Day. The goal of the program was to bring student athletes together through community, talking about the things that they've been through, right? So for example, if somebody faced depression because of a coach, they connected with another player about what they were going through. But what's crazy is, although I created the organization, it helped me more than it helped the people that I was bringing in. We've seen over like the 200 to 300 different types of athletes, right? So with that said, every athlete that I shared a moment with, shared a story with, it let me build on me, allowed me to realize that pain does not last forever.
How has your life been recently? What are you doing each day?
Oh, my life has been turned. I've been having a great time. I ain't gonna lie. I've been having a great time. Listen, we won the ACC championship. I had pro day. My quarterback is rated top 10 in the NFL. I did pro day, did a great job at pro day. I'm going to Las Vegas for the NFL draft. From there, I'm going to Boise, Idaho, to Wyoming, Denver, Colorado. I'm traveling. So I'm in a really good space right now. You'd have asked me this 2 months ago, well, it might have been a different story. But right now, I'm doing great.
What was it like to constantly play and rehab through the pain?
Annoying, frustrating. Because I know I'm good enough. Like the guys that you would see get drafted now from Pitt, I've beat them 100 times in my head, right? Beat them 100 times in practice. And it also had people come up and tell me, like, yo, you're just as good as everybody that's leaving here, right? So to have that all in front of you and to not still get the opportunity to then not still get what you had originally set out for, right? It hurt. But it made me realize that sometimes your role does change. Sometimes you have to look from a different insight on where you're at, not where you could be. Because we could say woulda, coulda, shoulda all day. Like, he could have had hair longer, but he didn't. But he didn't, you know? Or I could have had longer dreads, but I decided not to. It's woulda, coulda, shoulda, but it never happened. So all we can do is face the present, right? Face the present. Hopefully I never go bald, man. I'm telling you right now. I'm like, do not curse me, okay? Next question.
What clicked in your head that made you think it was depression? Like, did you diagnose yourself, or
Why are
did
y'all so
somebody help you?
smart? Like, they're just some smart kids. Y'all deal with this every day? Okay, wow. So I realized I was really going through something, right? When I realized my thoughts were becoming consistent on the negative end. Like, every day I was waking up, and it was another thing that I was saying negatively about myself. So for example, if I'd wake up and be like, yeah, you're not gonna ever play football again. Then on top of that, you're gonna fail school. Then on top of that, nobody cares about you. Then on top of that, you see what I'm doing to myself? Nobody's beating me up. It's me that's beating me up, right? So when I realized that, I was like, okay, I should probably stop doing that. And then realizing when those thoughts are there, those are not my thoughts. I do not have to be every thought that I think. Does that make sense? I'm giving y'all gold nuggets right now. I don't even go like this. Y'all asking the perfect questions.
So a lot of times in life, like, people think, well, there are obviously in life like big moments that change you, but a lot of time a lot of the time it's a little things that add up over the long term.
Mm-hmm.
So when you were injured, what do you think were some little changes you made that helped to add up and make you feel better?
First things first, self-affirmation. Like what you tell yourself, right? When I work out, Christian can attest to this, I started doing this thing. I write words so I can see the word, but also see myself on my mirror, right? So for example, we were doing pull-ups the other day. All this back here is hurting right now, right? So like when I was looking at it, I just kept telling myself, be strong. That was the word that I had written out on the mirror, right? Then on top of self-affirmation, I started writing out what I was feeling. And as I told you before, taking videos of myself. The funniest video of myself, I'm not going to show you because I was cussing up a storm. I'll never do that again. But it was a funny video because when I looked at myself, I was like, bro, why are you even mad? You're just mad to be mad. Like, you're not actually mad. You're just mad just because something else happened and you're frustrated. I wouldn't have been able to do that for myself had I not taken that step. Third thing I do is I talk to my therapist. And I thank the Lord for her because I talk a lot, as you could tell. And then on top of that, like, I could get really, really deep, drop a hat, right? And she takes it in and she's able to rebuttal everything that I'm going through and help me go through it. Here's another thing though, this is me being honest. Not every therapist is going to match you. I don't think many people say this enough. Sometimes you have to try not once, but twice, but 3 times. Because not every therapist, the way that they do things is going to match on how you like to think, how you like to talk, and how you like to speak. So you got to find who matches you. You know what I mean?
Of all aspects of your journey, what was the most difficult to overcome?
Depression, injury. That was the hardest part that I ever had to overcome overall. Like I told you, times have not gotten easy. I just gotten stronger. I've realized the thoughts that I still have to this day are not my true thoughts. I've also realized there's people that I can rely on because I used to never rely on anybody. Because mind you, I had nobody in my head. Now I'm actually able to rely on people and be somebody.
Whenever you went to the hospital after your football accident, you said the nurses changed you.
Mm-hmm.
In what way did they change you?
Oh, they gave me positivity. Mind you, this is Miami, okay? I don't know if y'all know anything about Miami. I know you watch a lot of TV or a lot of Netflix. Miami's crazy. So there's a lot of there's an impact unit and there's an animal impact unit. I don't even know what that is, okay? Like an animal impact unit, why do you even have this unit? So where I was at, I was in the impact unit. And these nurses every day kept a smile. Every day. Never not a day they did not smile. But you also gotta understand what they were seeing every day. And this is why I think they're so courageous. The guy that was right next to me got hit by a train and survived. I have no idea how. To this day, I still have no idea how, but he was a John Doe. The guy that was diagonal from me got shot in the throat. The next guy from me had some crazy accident happen to him, but it didn't make sense to me. When I was learning to get my oxygen back from my lung to my head, right? This is actually a learned thing I had to do, right? First time I passed out. As soon as I stood up, got on, was like, this is easy, and went back to sleep. Woke up and they were like, yeah, it wasn't that easy, was it? I was like, no, it wasn't at all. And then I had to learn to walk again because the oxygen was not getting to my brain the right way. Once I learned how to walk, I seen every unit that was in Crazy Miami, which was also the animal impact unit. So there was a guy in there that got bit, and then you know how the alligator does that rolly thing?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it got his arm and started rolling. So he was gone, right? So I threw up everywhere. Like, everywhere. The animal impact unit changed my life, let me tell you. Changed everything about me. I was like, I never want to come to Miami ever again. I'm cool, I'm good. That was a crazy time period. That changed my life. And then on top of that, they were so positive through everything, right? There's a guy there named Yusef, right? Yusef was so different just because, like, he would tell me everything that was being put into my body, every drug, every problem, because they had to put me on a lot of things to kill the pain. When you lose oxygen, that's a different breed of human, you know what I mean? That's a different breed of trauma. And they were just so positive, and I realized I wanted to be a lot like that, even when there's painful things around you. Next question.
If you could, would you change anything you did throughout your journey?
No. I'll go through it again. All over again. I'll go all through it. So I promise you, what I'm doing right now, the fact that I'm even able to stand in front of you guys and to be able to enjoy this, like, this is more important to me. Like, this moment, impacting somebody else, caring about somebody else is a lot more important to me than just going to the league, right? Because I had opportunity. I still have an opportunity, right? But even with that said, football is not for long. Changing somebody's life, making an impact, that's forever. People don't realize that it's not what you do that people remember. It's what you do with the people that you care about. Like, you're going to have friends that actually matter, right? And those people, what they think about you and what they care about you, that's what matters. Not what the rest of the world wants you to be. I had to learn that, and that was the one thing that I learned from going through everything. As you heard, it was a long story that I went through, right? I would not change it for the world. Because had I been a young millionaire, oh man, I probably been in a ditch already, bro. I'm not gonna lie, I was nuts. Nuts. So I'm thankful that God put me in a situation now to learn on the man that I had to become in order for him to present me with the things that are gonna be in my future. So I'm very thankful for that one.
Do you plan on continuing a career in football?
Yeah, it's fun. Why not? You know what I mean? Well, you want to do it? I mean,
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's real fun, man. As long as I can do it, I'm gonna do it, bro. I'm just gonna have fun with it.
How do you measure success in your life?
Through the success. How do I measure success? Through the smiles of my family. I mean, that's all I got. I don't got anything more than that. That's the most important to me. If I see my family smile, that means I did something right. Because that's my tribe, right? That's the people I care about. So that's how I measure success. If they see me doing this and they smile because of it, then this was a successful day. If not, then it wasn't a successful day.
Who was someone that surprised you and how they helped you?
My girlfriend. My girlfriend really surprised me simply just because she had to learn me, which is not easy. I'm a lot to handle, and I know that, and I'm happy with it. So take it how you want to. But with that said, I know I'm a lot to handle, and for her to take advantage and to actually try to learn me, nobody's ever done that before. So I gotta give her a lot of credit. Final word. Final word. I do have a final sentence, okay? Adversity is a comma in the sentence of life, not a period. Just because you're going through something doesn't mean your life is over. You just need time to get stronger. That's me. Have a good one. Thank y'all for your questions.